Hi guys, welcome to the second episode of This Is Not News. This episode, I sit down with Art Supplies, who has been on my podcast before. We had a really great chat in this one. It was actually really refreshing to talk to Jordan, who is Art Supplies. He is someone who always has a unique perspective on things. I always love his outlook, and this one really did leave me feeling maybe just that little bit better about everything that's going on at the moment and the fact that, there's things to look forward to on the other side of this thing. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode with Art Supplies. Let's get straight into this one. Little dance intro there by Art
I'm ready.
Supplies.
I think I'm ready. Yeah, I'm
You think
ready.
you're ready? You definitely ready?
Oh, yeah. We're ready.
Definitely ready.
Okay. Happy days.
So let's start by you can introduce yourself, mate. Tell everyone who you are, where you are, and what you do.
So welcome. Hello. I'm Jordan, or Art Supplies, and I'm here in Cleveland, Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and currently nearly in lockdown.
Yeah.
Pretty much self-locked down, I'd say, by now. Everybody is, so shout out to everybody locked down. But I make music, and I have written mostly house stuff. I've got an album coming on the way, which is kind of like a little bit different, very different. And then got my little setup at home. Love gardening, love
Studio.
animals, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of me,
Nice.
man. I
Yeah.
do
Too easy.
disability support as well. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another thing I
Cool.
do. So
Yeah. Awesome.
happy days.
So, what's life been like for you lately? Have you seen much change in your work, like in terms of, like you said, your disability work, working with those guys? Is that what's happening
Yeah,
there in that industry?
it's so up in the air. Hey, like everything's so live, like everything's going on as we speak. So I'm kind of in a position where we're local and the clients that I have work like nearby, so I can do a lot of stuff maybe like outdoors or keep distance. Most of the stuff I'm moving to is like face to face now, so I mean, seems silly, but jumping on like, on camera to each other and basically going through exercises, teaching them different things, learning stuff, all sorts, like
So it's
just
really
basically
sort
trying
of,
to do as much as we can during
yeah.
this time.
And
So
so
yeah,
that's you guys are already sort of moving to online sort of stuff
yeah,
with
like
that, yeah.
as of today, yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Because I know I used to always see you, going on trips and stuff, with some of the guys and
Yeah,
girls and go to museums and all that. But obviously, lots of that stuff's closed at the moment.
yeah,
Um,
and gyms and stuff. Gym was a
Gyms and
big
stuff.
part of what I do. Like I was taking them to the gym, doing exercise, so I'd get my 4 sessions a week in by taking them, and
Yep.
now that's kind of that's
Now you
gone.
have to
So
do it
the
yourself.
Yep, we used the park today, so like we just went down together and yeah, did a little workout and
Because it's usually
kept it nice and
one-on-one sort of
simple.
work, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's all one on one, so it's mostly like community access and sort of daily living support,
Yep.
um, and encouraging personal growth in all sorts of areas, that kind of stuff. But
Yep.
yeah, exercise is a big primarily one for me because that was the thing that got me into doing that kind of stuff, support work, because it was like exercise based. That's my background, doing exercise through university and stuff. Exercise science, that's kind of got me in personal training, working with disabilities, and then into support
If you want
work.
to know more about that backstory, go watch the podcast, I guess, or go listen to the podcast,
Exactly.
which is
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
almost a year ago now we did that.
Is that really?
Yeah, well,
Wow.
it's probably not quite a year actually. Feels like forever ago, hey, because
Yeah, it
since
does,
then
man.
we've met up a few times and you've come and work on your album at the studio and stuff like that. So, yeah, it feels like ages ago, man. But so
Yeah,
that's
I know.
you guys are already moving to online stuff, which is cool. So that's something
Yep.
that you're gonna, even if this lockdown, fully comes into effect in Australia, you guys are still going to be doing some form of work with them. Is that what
Well,
thinking
if I'm
is?
allowed to, I think
Yeah.
like disability services, it was kind of for me and like, anybody else that's sort of in that area, it kind of is an essential service in terms of like they can't really do without support.
Yeah.
Otherwise they'll struggle. And obviously it's our duty of care to then take care of them and make sure they aren't unhygienic and don't
Yeah.
spread anything. So that kind of the element comes into it. But then there's also the families that, now that everything's cancelled, they then can take a more active role in
Yeah.
supporting that instead. But it's like we said, it's live, man. It could change
Yeah.
any
Everything's
second.
so like, changes day to day,
Yeah.
like
You were
morning to
working today?
afternoon even.
Were you at school today? Is that right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was at school. We're still there. We're still operating.
Far
So,
out, man.
we got the word today that apparently we're open till the holidays, so the 3rd of April. That's the official word. There's been a lot on the news about things going on that I probably can't comment on, but yeah, the official word is we're open and we're doing what we can.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
shout out to you and shout out to the others keeping these
yeah.
kind of
Really,
places
the teachers,
open.
man. To be honest, it's
Yeah,
the
hard
teachers
out.
because they're the ones that are like in the room with the kids, really on the front lines. So that's what I would say. It really
Yeah,
is the teachers.
my mum's a teacher and my
Yeah.
brother's partner's a teacher,
So,
and like
I
I know
mean,
so many teachers. So
everyone plays a part in getting it all happening and stuff, But my job at the moment is just like getting more sanitizer, finding how we can get more products, and things like that.
yes,
And just
wow,
all the time that there's soap everywhere. Like just double checking. Oh yeah, the
yeah,
soap's there. There's soap there. There's extra soap, and stuff like that, so that we can just do our best. Really, that's what you
that's
can really do
crazy.
in these
How
times. So.
many? Here's my question: how many do you reckon stayed home today out of the
I
kids?
can't tell you that. I'm not allowed to say.
Okay,
I'm
all right,
not allowed to
sorry.
say how many. That's I'd probably get in trouble if I said that. But
Fair enough, fair enough.
yeah, I'm sure there'll be statistics or something come out. Whether it's the news finds out somehow, but I don't want to risk getting in
Yeah,
trouble
fair enough.
with that.
Nah, fair
I don't want to
enough.
risk
Fair
losing
enough.
my government job that's secure at the
Yeah,
moment.
man.
So
Yeah, for sure.
like I've said to heaps of people, I feel so lucky. While it is tough still being there doing that work. Super lucky, man. Super lucky.
Yeah, 100%
So
grateful, eh?
yeah, definitely. So, is there anything that you've seen recently that's like, some innovative or creative ideas? I mean, I think that's great that you guys are moving towards sort of online support so that you can still offer, like you said, the training and stuff, doing
Mm,
some exercises, even if it is over, over the internet and video.
yeah.
But is there anything else you've seen, whether it's in that space or if it's music or anything else that you've thought, oh, that's awesome, like I love what they're doing there? Anything you've seen recently?
Yeah, I mean, like obviously in our space in the music industry, everybody's doing the live streaming of various different things, and I jumped on that bandwagon today, just sort of live streaming some sessions because everyone's at home and they got some time and they want to connect with people. That's a big part of being a
Yeah.
human and having that kind of connection. So I think these kinds of things have been really good. Um, obviously in any kind of space, having to adapt to online or whatever it is, like adaptation is so crucial. And if you can't adapt with the times and how everything's moving, you're just going to get kind of left behind, which is a
Yeah.
shame, but like it's reality. And it's shows kind of the people that were really just chilling and cruising and in their little bubble.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like,
exactly.
go wake up, there's real important things here in life, and we need to focus on those and hunker down on our perspective and, like you said, gratitude,
Yeah.
and like we said, innovate. So the main thing in music, like I've been seeing, especially for producers, is things like giving stuff out, giving people inspiration.
Yep.
Like we were talking about giving out stems. So you've just given out stems to a whole bunch of your tracks. Is that right?
Yeah, my EP from last year and my last single. So
That's
yeah,
right.
they were already like ready. Like they're ones that I've whether they were stems I bounced out earlier before mix down. I had them all in my Dropbox, so I was just like, bang,
Yeah.
easy, done. If you want them,
Done.
they're there. Go nuts.
So
Just
yeah,
show me what you've
everybody,
got. Like,
go
when you're
check
done,
out
send them
Jai's
through.
stems.
Yeah, go check out them. And then you've put out some stems as well, man. So
Yeah, I just I put out back in the day stems. I realized that like it was one of those songs I didn't want to bother with a remix pack. I didn't want to force people to push out anything too quickly. So I was just like thinking, and then got the amazing idea to put it out as stems, only because people like yourself were asking. I had somebody else ask as well, and then you asked and you said, like, could you grab the stems? So I'm so more than happy to give out stems if that means people are going to support me and have some sort of inspiration into their own creative whatever. If they're inspired by my track and they want to take it and run with it, have it. Go for it, And that goes for any of my tracks, really, man. Honestly. Like, unless I'm contractually obliged not to give out stems, I'd give them out.
yeah, exactly.
Ask me. I'll give them to you.
Yeah, just ask. That's it.
I don't
Ask and
understand
you'll
why people
receive.
I don't understand. People get upset when they rip their tracks and like flip them and stuff. It's like the biggest like honor.
Yeah.
Someone like vibes with your track and wants to go somewhere else with it, then happy days, take it.
Yeah, I just wanted that piano line, man. That piano line's cool.
It's
and then
layered,
the vocal
man.
as well, yeah.
Yeah, the vocal, oh man, I don't know
where did you get that from, that vocal?
Somewhere deep in Splice. Some deep diving I was doing.
Yeah.
And it's from some weird, like, it's probably from some cinema thing, like voiceover, cinematic or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the piano is like all layered, whole bunch of different layers on it.
Yeah, sweet. It sounds awesome.
Whatever.
Yeah, I love it. And so if anyone hasn't checked that tune out, because it only came out Friday, like last week. Yeah,
it's still
it's been
new,
out in a couple of days. Like, it's Monday now, so it's been out what?
That's right.
3 days.
3 days.
And you gave out stems yesterday, so everyone check out the track if you haven't, and go grab those stems.
Man.
Have you put them on a post somewhere where people can just grab them, or do they have to hit you up for those?
They have to hit me up, primarily because like I don't really necessarily have a group or anything. I was just going to simply just post them on my page, but I want to try and generate a little bit more interest in terms of reach with it. So I don't think it's much to ask someone to sort of drop a comment or just send me a message and something like that. It helps spread the post to more producers, so they might have an opportunity. So that's kind of stems is like an easy one for people to do.
Yeah.
Shout out to Graveyards, actually. Young Gravy put out a sample pack.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Graveyard sounds, or I don't know what he called it.
Yeah, over 200 samples or sounds or something.
Holy moly.
Yeah, there's heaps.
So like, things like that are what you need to jump on. Samples can, even if they're, I mean, he's got such a signature sound.
Yeah.
Like, so what you're going to kind of get from Gravy if you go to his pack, and just supporting those kind of people by like spending a bit of dollars on it, I guess, especially in a time of need, is where you can support them and they are innovating their business. I mean, that's kind of a thing that producers can do anyway.
Yeah.
Producing in general, like, you should be all over this kind of stuff online anyway. That's kind of online music generation. If you want to be doing that, that's kind of, you should have been already doing it.
Exactly.
But the gig side of things is where people are, going crazy. But then there's like, like Mark Ribier, killing the Quarren stream, and all these kinds of people.
Heaps of like creative ideas there, but I think people need to, you can't just stream. Hey, you can't just stream your DJing. I feel like it needs to be, you got to have something else there. Everyone's doing
right
it now,
about that.
so,
You're right about that. I was going to say that. I think not just necessarily playing spinning tunes just to have your own party and have the attention. I think that's kind of what a lot of it's turned into, is kind of, hey, look at my set's better than your set, or like everybody's just bored now, so they're streaming. So I think like if there's a purpose behind it, either getting people together, only spinning locals music, or, you know, getting people to submit music whilst live, and then, or getting the audience to pick tracks. I think Mashed and Kutcher were doing that and stuff, like people, you know, doing requests and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's more interactive.
Yeah.
But then, like, that's why I kind of like Mark Ribier, because he fully, like, he takes phone calls, takes messages, but then also jams and improvises on the thing as well.
Yeah. It's more of a show then.
It is kind of more of a show, but
Yeah.
that's like where it's moving to, eh?
Yeah.
Like,
It's got to be
I don't
entertainment.
know. What have you seen in terms of like the live set space, and what are you sort of thinking?
I don't know. I haven't looked at a lot of it, to be honest. Like I've seen some stuff come up, but you know, a lot of people jamming, a lot of people in the studio, and then, you know, like I said, a lot of ones where it's just people DJing, you know, and unless you're like a phenomenal technical DJ and you're doing real crazy stuff, you know, like I'd love to watch a DMC guy do a live stream, you know, like and
Yeah,
be fully going cut and sick, beat juggling and all that kind of stuff. Like that would be awesome, and that sort of lends itself to this format of live stream, I
it
think.
does. Yeah,
Yeah,
but if
which is
like
where we
if you're
didn't
not
have that
doing,
before.
yeah, exactly. We get a front row seat to something that was normally like
Yeah,
$200. But I think, yeah, if you're not, there's those people are kind of winning that space. Then again, there's like a lot of attention to go around. You know, everybody
mm,
can get their sort of slice of the cake, but you, like you
yeah,
said, unless you're innovating and doing something different, people aren't gonna necessarily, you know, want to watch. I think there's got to be a lot of bringing value to them.
yeah,
That's what it's got to be all about,
mm,
because no one's going to buy into your, unless you're the top of the rung,
yeah,
and like you're, you know, Mark Rubio, whatever, like the people that are top already and people want to pay to go and see them. You've got to try and, you know, that's what I'm thinking is, like, people don't come flocking for my music, so
yeah,
I'm trying to think about, okay, well, what does everyone want in this kind of time? So I think today, kind of, you know, just showing people a little bit of an insight into your creativity, how you work, how you
yeah,
build up an idea, sharing your creative process. So I was sort of talking through how I was doing stuff at the time. Live Q&As, but more kind of production focused or
yeah,
DJ focused, like just teaching people, or use that method instead, you know.
yeah.
Um,
I think it's going to
I
be
think,
real,
yeah,
real trying and a real eye opener to see who's actually in this, you know, as a long haul thing. Um, you know, I sort of feel like almost saying like, you know, like you're gonna tell your kids about this time, you know, if you have kids, you know, you're gonna tell your kids about this time when we were in lockdown and stuff. And what are you gonna tell them? Are you gonna tell them that you
yeah,
played PS4 the whole time? Or you know
yep,
what I mean? Like I'm serious, you know, like,
100%.
or are
Yeah,
you
how
gonna
many
tell them,
Netflix shows did you watch?
yeah, or are you gonna tell them that you learned a new skill, or that you
Mm,
worked on your production, or you know, oh, that was the year when I read my manual for my you know, for whatever it is device you've got. I just downloaded a free modular synth VST. So I'm going to be playing with
oh,
modular, you know,
cool.
that's something that,
Yeah,
you know, just something else to learn, so that when I go, you know, once we're out of this thing and we're in the next, I've got that under my belt. I've got
yeah,
another tool to make myself more valuable, whether it's when I'm at the studio, because we've got some modular gear at the studio, or
yeah.
whether it's using this new software, you know. So that's something that I'm sort of thinking about in my head, like when I'm, you know, in 30, 40 years time, when we're all old and gray and talking about what we did when the pandemic hit, what
Yeah,
are you going to be able to tell people, you know?
that's so true, man. Legacy is everything, and like, um, using your initiative, using your time wisely.
Yep.
Uh, I think, like, apart from the fact of, yes, everybody's going to be have that extra time to focus on themselves and give, you know, their, that little thing that they didn't do, or have always been like, I've always
Yeah.
wanted to learn this or do that. That's a
Yeah.
good opportunity to start doing
Yeah.
that. But more than that, I think like this situation that we're currently in, is kind of bigger than that. anyway, in terms of the fact that like using things like live streaming, but helping people and feedback sessions is keeping that community side
Yeah.
of things in a
Mm-hmm.
time where it's super important. It's also like you said before, it's going to separate kind of the people that are in it for the long haul as well, because there's the toxicity of the environment of drinking and stuff every weekend kind
Yeah.
of keeps a lot of people in it that wouldn't normally be in it if it was just in their bedroom DJing every weekend hustling.
Yeah.
So it shows that those people who are going to be, doing that kind of have the passion for it and have the passion for bringing people together and doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Especially with this perspective shift, like the world's not going to be the same. Big things are happening. We can all see this. We all need to be prepare for the fact that it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
And it's like the quicker you get your head around it and get onto sort of being grateful for where we are, what we've had, and moving forward, like
Yeah.
I reckon it's the easier everyone's going to be able to deal with it together.
Yeah. That's
Simple
it.
as that, bro.
Yeah. That's
Well, not
it.
that simple, but you
Bang.
know what I
Don't need
mean.
to do any more interviews with anyone. That's it. We've got the answer right
Yep.
there.
Andrew, you don't run the conference, mate. You don't
Yeah.
run the conference.
Oh man, I was cracking up at that. And the line
It's
about
just,
the
yeah.
congregating at the local trampoline venue.
Yes, I saw your
Oh,
status
I
when you
couldn't.
like put that up.
I was
That
just,
was great.
I was
That
physically
was so
laughing at
good.
that. I couldn't stop. I thought it was hilarious.
It's his go-to, the trampoline park.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, hilarious.
enough
So I
political
saw you
views.
put something out on Instagram, probably a little while, like a week or so ago, just sort of tips for things people can do. And you probably mentioned some of them there, but are there any
Yeah.
other ones that you mentioned there? I can't quite remember what they were. Was
Yes.
there any other ones in there that you mentioned?
For sure. So I said sample packs. I guess stems comes out under that kind of thing as well.
Yep.
Um, I said produce for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's hard to get because you kind of have to have some level of portfolio to be like, yeah, let me work on your stuff.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said about reaching out and saying, hey, can I help you out on a track, or offering your services in whatever your skills are, whether it be mixing, recording, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
or songwriting, whatever you've got skills in, offering that to somebody else in exchange for your time, your money, whatever,
Yeah.
is a good way to make money, and also build your resume and build your skills as a producer, working
Yep.
with completely left field stuff you wouldn't normally work with,
Yep.
like trying to mix down guitars that are like for heavy metal or something that
Yeah.
you wouldn't be doing in EDM. It's like very different, and it teaches you the sonics of everything. So that's a double plus. You get to learn something and you get to make some money.
Yep.
But
Perfect.
a little bit hard to get into. Um, the other thing is like approaching, like I've done this before for YouTube intros. So you sort of
Yep.
find YouTubers, spend a bit of time searching, finding some people that need your help. So you go, man, they're a great channel, but they've got a terrible intro. That could
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
with some like big, awesome, trappy entrance for
Yeah. Yeah.
them. So you like go, I know exactly what his vibe is, or you've been watching this YouTuber for ages and they don't have a time, whatever,
Yeah.
make something, send it to them, say, hey, I made this. I reckon it would really benefit you tracking this thing at the start of your thing. They might use it, right?
Yeah.
You may do your first one for free, you may do your first couple for free, but if you've then got a couple of YouTubers that you've done it for and you can show other people, you can be like, hey, these are the ones I've made.
Yeah.
It's, X amount of dollars a pop. Do you want me
Mm-hmm.
to make one for you? I
Yeah.
reckon you'd benefit from it as well. And then you
Yeah.
kind of do that for YouTube channels. You can do it for like go as far as jingles and ads and TV placements and things. If you know a TV show that is running that probably will have other seasons, you have a song that will fit that kind of mood, or you've written something,
Yeah.
find the person that's running it. Like the Facebook is so easy to stalk people. So you find, like, it
Yeah.
sounds so bad, but hunt these people down,
Yeah.
find articles. Like, it's always there, it's online, it tells you who it is and who they work for. And like LinkedIn shows you everybody that's working for everyone, what their name
Yeah.
is. Find them, send them a message. Yo, like, really love what you do. You got to obviously approach it right. And then if they listen to it, happy days. You send it to, like, 50,000 of them, one fish might bite,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that kind of thing. TV and like ad placement and all that kind of stuff is definitely who I'm not very connected in those kind of circles. I wish I was, but that's
Yeah.
that's one of these extra things that I need to work on.
Yeah. Take
But
your
it's
own
definitely
advice.
I've known about it for a long time. I just haven't taken my own advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What else did I post about? I think that was maybe it, samples and
Yeah.
that kind of thing, producing for other
And even
people.
like, I suppose it's the same when you're talking about working and doing stuff for other people, like collabs and stuff. It's just a
100%.
great time to collab with people. Obviously you can't get in the studio physically with people at the moment, but
But
you've
look how
got all
good
the tools.
technology is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah,
just jump in
exactly.
live. There's, I don't know, so Production Advice YouTube channel run by Ian Shepherd. He posted a video showing how to do instantaneous collaboration with lossless audio
Oh, nice.
and no zero latency across the internet. So
Awesome.
like I
Sounds
could be
crazy.
playing something and it's real time to you,
Yeah.
as if we're in the same room but virtually.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether we can find a link to that and post
Yeah.
it, but
We'll
it's
try to
pretty
find
easy.
that and see if we can link it. Yeah.
Production Advice YouTube channel, and it's like one of the last few videos he put up because he's helping everybody in this time.
Yeah.
But that can help you collab, and like we've said, you learn so much from working with somebody else.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Different techniques. And do you have anything that would help producers in
Um,
making?
oh,
Let's like
man.
I guess producers for one is different to DJs, but
Yeah.
producers for now, like what ideas have you got in that space?
Well, I mean, like, apart from the stuff you've already mentioned, which is like, that's a heap of really good stuff. Like, there's stuff like organizing your sample libraries, stuff that's as easy as that. Like,
Yeah.
think about how much better, like how much more streamlined your production is when you've got all your samples organized properly.
Yes.
That's something boring that no one likes to do, but hey, you've got time to do it now. Stuff like that. Other stuff like, read your manual. I said it before as a bit of a joke, but reading manuals for stuff is awesome. And some manuals for
Yep.
some plugins and different products and stuff, they're not massive, but it'll actually explain to you what that knob does, not, oh, that's what it does. It actually like explains to you specifically what it does. And then you'll know how to use it better and more creatively. So read manuals, so many tutorials. It's a great time to
Yeah.
learn new techniques.
Yeah, fully.
And
Producing is all
like,
about like just when to use it, eh? Not
yeah,
like
yeah.
not necessarily how much of it. It's like just when.
And sometimes you need to practice that, then like practice using a new technique, and then you figure out, oh, it's really good when I use it on this or when I use this, like for example, there's I think Johnny, who runs the studio with me, obviously, Johnny, he gave us a plugin. I think it's called Transify. And so it's a multi-band transient designer. So you've got like attack, decay, for attack and sustain for like a low band, a low mid, high mid, and then a high band. So you can actually
That's
it's
so
really good.
cool.
It's probably not good on everything, but it works really well on kicks because you can change the transients of the different frequencies within the kick. So
Yes.
it's it's something that's great for kick drums or any drums probably.
Yeah, I
But
like that.
again, it's one of those things where you could play with it on so many different things, but till you find when is a good time to use it, so it's really good for
Yeah,
kicks.
because like, somebody might use that technique, but imagine having to think of that when you don't have such an easy little thing to just be like, people who come up with these plugins are just smart people. They're just saving
Yeah.
people time, like
Yeah,
just
that's another
twist this
thing.
and like everything changes.
Learn how to make Max for Live plugins if you use Ableton or
That's, I don't
Reactor.
know how to do that.
Yeah, well, but
What's
you could
like Max for
learn.
Live? I need to
Yeah.
learn, Jai.
You
I
could
need to
learn,
learn.
yeah. I don't know how to do it either, but like, you know, it's stuff where users can make plugins with it. So it's, you know, it's not just
That's cool. So you
it's
can
just not
literally
just for
make a
anyone.
plugin.
Yeah. You
Man,
figure out how to do
stuff's
it and then
crazy.
and then teach me how to do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
Um
like you could get to know one synth. Like that's probably
yeah.
something that a lot of people, well, and myself included, you just get too many plugins, too many
Yeah.
synths, too many different. You just jump on the next trend, or someone says, "Oh, hey, this is a sweet deal," or "This plugin's amazing." The
Yeah.
truth is, there's like so many plugins that are amazing that do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just like get to know one really well. Like Flume uses one. Like I think he uses Silent or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, but he uses or Spy. I don't know. He uses one, and he does it like really well.
Yeah,
Like
that's
you
it.
don't need anything else.
Yeah, I
So
found it really refreshing when my Mac got wiped, when it got fixed, to just put on the plugins that I use. Like I had so many on there that I would never use, and they just sit there, and it was just cluttering up all my plugin folder, and it was just harder to find things. And now it's like, instead of thinking, oh, what do I use? I just go, I'll use that. That's all I've got. You know, I've only got
yeah,
one thing that does that. So yeah,
that's
it's
exactly
kind of
right.
refreshing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
So let's talk about your garden, because when you're on the podcast, like I said, almost a year ago, you
Yes.
had sort of you've been doing it for a little bit, but you weren't like full into it. Now it's almost a year later.
Yes.
I sort of want to ask first, what stuff you found grows well in this region. I suppose we're going into winter almost. Well, you know, we're
Yeah.
moving
So
towards
we're
winter.
about to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Winter
So
veggies have got to go in.
yeah. So what, just for anyone out there who may be thinking, hey, I'll go down to Bunnings and get some seeds. What's some good stuff that you've found that grew well over the winter period?
Well, obviously it depends on where you're listening
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah.
But you know,
We're in
certainly in
Queensland, in Brisbane. So
yeah. So in this kind of climate, and I mean it's pretty similar across Australia, but this kind of thing is zucchini is like a really easy one for
mm,
winter. Um, it's you just get these amazing harvests. They can get, especially if you let them grow, they turn into these giant marrows, and
yeah.
then it's just, especially in this kind of time, that's good food, big
Yeah.
hearty food for free, and they produce so many. So if you put like 4 plants in, which I think is what they sell them at Bunnings for, in the 4 pots, because they're so big,
Yeah.
they'll just go nuts, and then you get these huge things. They don't take too long to actually produce the vegetable, and then you know you get plenty of them. So they're really good. If you don't like them, learn to, because they're they're awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Sweet potato
Yeah.
does well in this region. And another one that's really good in terms of producing large quantities, and you know, energy dense food, which is what you need right now. I mean, we
Yeah.
can't grow rice, but you know, we're getting
Yeah.
there.
There's plenty of rice in
So
storage anyway. There's heaps
yeah,
of stuff.
yeah, exactly. So um, that kind of stuff's good. Tomatoes just can grow year round.
Yeah,
I
those
mean,
things,
especially in Australia, they seem to just do fine.
they're ridiculous. It's
Yeah,
almost like
tomatoes are
they
great.
grow too well, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's like stop, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do for this winter. I'm gonna do some green beans.
Yep.
Maybe some like cauliflower, broccoli, that kind of stuff. That does
Yep.
take a little bit of time. Definitely corn.
Yep.
You can still, all of these things, we're lucky that yeah, we can just grow them through all year round. Summer, it just, you have to be careful what's in the sun and how much shade it gets,
Yeah.
and just make sure you water regularly, especially with all the weird droughts that we get and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But that kind of stuff, carrots, they're
Yep.
good.
Yep. Carrot.
Good old carrots, eh? Uh, I don't know what else I'm gonna do, really, man. It depends. It depends on how the stock is,
Yeah.
because Bunnings was out the other day. I went to go
Oh,
get some more
really?
stuff, and it's completely out. All the
Was
vegetables
that
have been cleared.
was that like? Are you just going for like little seedling plants, or are you getting
Yeah,
seeds?
so those
Yes, you're
ready
going
to
for seedling. Yeah.
grow. Yeah, ones that
Yep.
are already done. If you grow from seeds, you just got to do more than what you think.
Yeah.
Empty the whole packet into a whole seed tray, and then you get heaps, and then you can choose the best ones.
Yeah.
It just takes longer.
Yeah.
So,
It just
but
takes
get
longer
some
that
on
first period.
soon. Get some on this kind of time is when you need that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
obviously, everyone's realizing that, and that gardening's important, being self-sufficient,
Yeah.
learning how to grow food, learning how to look after things,
Mm-hmm.
nurture nature, and nurture yourself, animals. Like, if you don't know these kinds of things, you need to get on it,
Yeah.
start learning.
How's
Um,
your little ducks and that going? Was it your duck that was having some problems and
yeah, so
nurturing?
my male,
Yeah.
so I got two, so male and female, and the male, he's called Duke, um, and he had seizures when he was younger, and it's because there was a vitamin B, or niacin, as it's called. Their intake wasn't enough,
Yep.
for whatever reason. He wasn't getting enough. The female was fine. So sometimes, they just, especially ducks, they can't take in as much of it out of their food. But he came good once I started boosting up heaps of vitamins. I made him drink, lots of vitamins, and kept all that up for a fair few weeks and nurtured him, and he came good. So they're good, man. They're massive now. Like, you
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
see them. They're huge. And my female Ellie is laying, so she lays big eggs.
Yep.
Another great easy food,
Yep.
so it's like boom. And
You,
then chickens, I got chickens, so three chooks, and one of them's laying now, and
yeah. Cool.
again, gonna be a good source of eggs, food
Yep.
for the time ahead.
We just had the Henny Penny program, which at the school, which is where they bring in
Oh
little
yeah.
chickens and that, and they bring in some in eggs that are like about to hatch, and they have them in a little
Wow.
incubator, and yeah, and the kids get to see them like peck out of the shell and stuff, and like
That's
they
so
come
cool,
out,
eh?
and yeah, so that was really cool to see them. And yeah, that was just the other week, like so yeah, that was really cool, and everyone,
Yeah,
all the little
wicked.
kids are so excited about it too, like, oh, little egg
Yeah,
stuff,
but
yeah, with the
it's
little,
so important. Like, it teaches them the about life cycle, birth, whatever, these kinds of things. Looking
yep,
after the fragile little things.
yep,
Um,
that's
but they're
it.
so they're so cute, and I love getting all these amazing eggs.
Yeah, 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 that's it. So we're to that part of the show where we've got some questions that we ask everyone.
Oh,
So we're slowly adding to the questions. I'm sort of asking people what's some fun questions we can ask. So we'll start with the section that's what's in your bunker. So
my
this is
bunker.
what's in your bunker. So what is there anything at the moment that you have lots of in supply where you are? Um, whether it's because you really love that kind of thing and you bought heaps of it, or whether it's because there wasn't much left at the shops and that's all that was there. Is there anything you have in large supply at the moment at your place?
Like, that I've panic buyed.
Well, maybe not necessarily
Maybe
panic
not.
buyed, but
Yeah,
or maybe just
maybe.
whatever you
No,
have.
like,
That's
I'm gonna go with plants, and food producing vegetables and animals, and
yep,
self-sustainability, I think, is
yep,
what I would go in that category.
yep,
I haven't necessarily bought anything that's too crazy, like we just bought whatever was there for the last
yep,
couple of weeks. But yeah, definitely just self-sustainability products
yep.
is my
So did
kind
you
of,
actually
hunker in the bunker.
buy many of them? Did you actually
Well,
go out and get them?
yes, yeah. So I have just gone and got extra veggies and
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. A few more bags of animal feed. Made sure all the animals are going to be sweet for the next little while.
cool.
There's more animal food than there is human food. So
That's awesome. I love that answer. That's a really good answer. So I like that one. So the next question is, what do you have not much of? So what do you have? What's something that you're like, oh, I'm probably going to have to get more of that, or I'm running out, or I don't have any of that. I need to get that. Is there anything that's in short supply?
in short supply is definitely things like soaps and hand sanitizers.
Yeah, I mean,
Um, I mean, that's
everyone's
a given, like, but it's seriously the only thing that I think that would necessarily benefit me at this time.
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I don't need much, man.
yeah, yeah. That's it.
But yeah, hand sanitizer is one of them.
Yeah, cool. So the next question is: once this thing is all over and we're sort of back to normal life, what are you looking forward to the most about sort of going back to normal? And I suppose this one's kind of hard because we're sort of still just getting into the lockdown mode.
No,
I
this is
suppose.
easy. This is an
Yeah. What
easy
is it?
question.
Go on.
I'm looking forward to perspective change.
Yeah.
Simple, because this has already changed is changing, has already changed a lot of people's perspectives. When we go back, it's a newfound appreciation for everything that we had.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to most, and seeing where that goes, seeing if we can actually keep that up,
Yeah.
and actually do something about it,
Yeah.
take some positive change from what's gone on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one's what I'm looking forward to, man.
So many good answers, mate. So many good answers. So the next one will be interesting. I've been asking people for like questions we can ask. Are you in these toilet paper times or toilet paper shortage times? Are you a scruncher or a folder?
Fold,
You're a
always have.
folder. You've always been a folder.
Hmm.
You're confident with that answer too. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
ain't no
I'm not.
scrunching going on here.
I'm not changing for nobody.
Yeah. 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 Awesome. Next question. And this one's to help me and anyone else who's single out there in these corona times.
Yes.
What would you recommend for a first date idea in these times when we
In
have to
this,
have
in these
social
kind of
distancing?
times,
Yeah. How do you go about going on a
do you know
first
what?
date with someone?
That's the hardest question, because I don't
Yeah.
have to think about that.
Yeah.
I have the luxury of being happily in a relationship, so I
Yeah.
don't have
I
to think
know.
about how to come up with a date idea.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
like,
this is a bit of a selfish question. It's for me. I need
yeah,
to know,
no,
you know?
I like it. I would. It depends. Like, if you know the person that you want to ask out on a date, do your research, man.
Do
Figure
your
out what
research.
they like. Figure out what's a cool little thing that you might be able to pick up on that isn't just everything. So like, read between the lines a little bit,
Yeah.
as
So
to
do
what
your
they might like.
research is your
Yeah, and
advice.
then just like start talking, start conversation. Get
Yeah.
on the phone or something, jump on FaceTime, and just be like, hey, like, just want to hang out.
Yeah.
Because I think connection at this kind of time is just the only thing that people kind of really want.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't
Cool.
know.
Good
That's my
answer.
answer.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. And I think the last question I've got here, and this one's probably a bit boring, but what is your favorite or what is a book recommendation? Like, what's a recommendation of either like a book, a game, a movie, or so it doesn't have to be something. I know we were talking about we should be productive in this time and use it
Yeah.
wisely, but we're going to have downtime as well, where you're going to have to just sort of, tune out or whatever. Is there any
Yeah.
recommendations of something maybe you've read recently or or you've seen or anything like that that people can, use to pass the time?
Yes. I'm a big fan of, like, well, for one, documentaries, because you can sort of learn things from that. I'm a big fan of this new Call of Duty game, because I'm not much of a gamer, and at least I can kind of play that. You don't have to have people building walls and things in front of you. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
never any good at Fortnite, but that kind of thing's fun from time to time, gets your heart racing, but too much of that's a bad thing. Um, I think, see, like, I can't sit down and watch too many things without having to, or wanting to learn something. It's more
yeah,
of a inner thing for me to always be trying to figure something out new.
yeah,
So I think, like, definitely, especially in these kind of times, is get an appreciation for something in maybe science, like, in terms of quantum physics,
yeah,
these kinds of things, nature of reality. That stuff's fascinating, man. Like, that for me, I always find that incredibly fascinating, how we are who we are and how connected we are.
yeah.
So look into that stuff. There's so much stuff out there.
Yeah.
So
So
much.
interesting documentaries, you reckon? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I love
go
a good
for it.
doco as well.
Yeah, get something in your ears that's like worth listening to, that's either inspirational, educational. You can still chill out and listen to it. I
Yeah.
mean, quantum physics documentaries is definitely not a put your feet up and stuff. You have to have your reading glasses on,
Yeah,
but
you got to be listening.
like obviously, just take what you can from these kinds of things, but just with a newfound perspective that everyone's now started opening up to, try and discover something or open yourself to something you might not usually be aware of.
Yeah.
Try and think outside the box with theories and things.
Yeah, cool. Nice. I like
Yeah.
that answer too. Plenty of goodness. I knew there was going to be some good answers for you from you on some of these. So, yeah, that's awesome.
Interesting answers.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else interesting that you want to say, or anything else coming up? Cool ideas? Anything you got planned for this break?
I've
Really?
yes, yeah. What I was live streaming today was kind of like the start of it, so I may as well kind of talk a little bit about it
Yep.
briefly. But I'm starting to sort of really drive up my like beat making
Yep.
kind of work. So like heaps of beats, like hip hop instrumentals,
For
that
artists.
kind of thing. Yeah, for artists, for people to jump on in the hip hop space, even producers that like the ideas, that want to take them and then work on them for their own projects or break them down,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm just going to be selling license to them to use either exclusively, or if they want to do cheaper licensing where they can just use it and it's non-exclusive, then
Yeah.
sweet. But I just want to open that space up because that's something that I'm like passionate about, making those kind of beats. I just make them all the time anyway, so
Yeah.
it's like I'm going to start a platform to start
Yeah.
actually showing people and giving people an option to come and
Yeah.
use them. But I'm certainly going to be taking inspiration from, like, say, Timberland. He does a lot of this at Beat Club,
Yeah.
where he just like grooves out, shows you beats on Instagram and stuff, and shows you behind the scenes and how the creative flow goes into those.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of one of the things that I want to open up, as well as that, to show
Mhm.
behind the scenes of how these are made.
Yeah. Cool.
And then if like, because that will be where a lot of interest is generated whilst people are listening to it and vibing to it and adding suggestions. They'll say, "Oh, I love where this is going. Like, let me jump on it." So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'd love to tell everyone about.
Yeah. Cool. That sounds good, man.
Yeah,
That's exciting. That'll be
it
fun.
is cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'll
super
definitely have
fun.
to tune into some of those live stream sessions you do then, and
Yeah, man.
see if I got
And
anything to add.
yeah, for sure. And like, I'm always posting tutorials and like helpful stuff all over my socials and stuff as much as I can. So
Yep.
that kind of stuff's always going to keep coming. And then just whatever music I feel like making,
Yeah.
is going to
Awesome.
come.
Sounds good, man. Well, thanks for the chat, and hopefully we've given some
Anytime.
ideas to some other people out there, whether it's gardening and some vegetables
Yeah.
they can grow for themselves,
I
or
hope
you know, or
someone
music.
messages me and is like, "Yo, my carrots were amazing."
Yeah.
And
Send
thanks
photos
for,
of carrots to art
yeah,
supplies.
proof of it. I need proof. Otherwise it didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Only if you grew them yourself. Don't be
Yeah,
bullshitting
no
us
store
with
bought
no store-bought carrots.
thing.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on and having a chat. Stay safe out there, and I hope everything
Thank
goes
you.
well. In this time, and yeah, we'll definitely. I know that we'll be in touch. But
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully, yeah, everything goes well for you. So,
Thank you, bro. Same to
see
you,
you
and
soon.
thanks for having us on. Thanks for the opportunity, and stay safe for everybody out there. Spread the love.
Cool. All right, thanks, man.
No worries. See ya.
There we go, guys. Great episode there with Art Supplies. I will leave links in the episode show notes so that you can find all the stuff we were talking about. Make sure you go check out his new track. Hit him up for those stems. I hope everyone's being safe out there and getting through this thing in whatever way they can. Hope you guys are having a great day or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys soon for the next episode.